You ready? You're going to start by grabbing behind that left knee with your right leg crossed over top. This stretch, even though you're holding your left leg, you're actually going to be stretching your right glute. And start it up. Just slowly pull that leg back, get a good stretch. This one's really good for releasing that piriformis muscle deep down in that glute, which is actually what pinches off that sciatic nerve most of the time. And begin. You're just going to bend that left knee and roll it over to the right as far as is comfortable. And you want to try to keep that left shoulder down towards the ground as best you can. And begin. Just remember, same thing, just drop that knee over as far as is comfortable. Try to twist as much of that torso as possible, trying to keep that right shoulder this time back on the mat. And press up through those hands, only as high as is comfortable. You can keep those elbows bent a little bit if you need to, or if you've got enough flexibility, push all the way up and lock those elbows out. And start it up. You want to arch up really nice and high, kind of pulling your hips in towards your shoulders, tucking your chin underneath as much as possible, and then flex it back the opposite direction. So try to get as much of a bow in your back as possible, and then right back up. Just alternate back and forth about 5 seconds in each position. And begin. You're going to press down and forward through the palm of your hand to try to round your back as much as you can, kind of pushing those shoulders down back towards your hips. You want to kind of tuck your chin the entire time as well. And stretch down. You want to keep those knees locked out. Stretch it down as far as you can. Kind of tuck that chin back up underneath your chest a little bit to get a little bit more back out of it. Remember, everything's connected all the way from your neck all the way down to that lower back. So the Pilates breaststroke. You're going to start this one off laying face down on the ground, tucking those elbows to your sides, hands just up by those shoulders. Lift your chest and those legs up off the ground really nice and high, and trying to keep that chest stationary. You're going to reach those hands out over your head as you exhale. Then inhale as you sweep those arms back, tapping those thighs, and then bending those elbows so those hands start back at those shoulders. Next, get those arms extended out. It's the opposite arm, opposite leg. So that left hand, right leg is just going to come up, and then that right arm, left leg. Just keep alternating back and forth, keeping a nice tight squeeze to that lower back. If you can, try to keep those hands and feet hovering off the ground so you don't want to let them actually touch the ground as you move back and forth. Now, and go ahead and get those arms straight out from one another. Bend straight over towards the ground so that chest is parallel to the ground. And then just rotate left to right, getting as much of a rotation to that torso, through those shoulders as you can. Trying to reach down towards the ground with that hand every single time. Just make flat back again. You're going to tip straight forward towards the ground, keep that back flat, hinging only from that hip joint. That back's going to be nice and straight from that shoulder all the way down to that hip. Don't let that lower back round. All that motion should be coming just from that hip joint. Flat down on your stomach, arms straight out over your head. This one, those arms and legs are going to come up at the same time. Exhale as you squeeze it up. Inhale as you drop back down. If you can, keep those arms and legs hovering. Hip sockets. Bring that left arm and right leg out. Extend them out, and then that opposite side. Just alternate back and forth. A little bit of a squeeze and hold at the top each time. Switch it. Lay down flat on your stomach. We're going to be doing the cobra pose first. So arch that back up. Legs flat against the ground, top that foot flat against the ground, pressing those shoulders down away from that neck. Then you sit back into that child's pose, stretching those hands away from you, trying to flatten your body down to those thighs as much as you can, then reverse it back to that cobra pose. We're just going to be holding it for a few seconds in each position. Switch it back to that child's pose, sitting back in those heels, stretching those hands away from you.
With what's comfortable for you. You may not be able to go this deep, you may be able to go more, whatever is right for you, you'll feel it. But once in this position, you're going to tip your pelvis back a bit. Hopefully you can see that there, what I'm doing. Okay, tip the pelvis, and then lean into the stretch. Okay, as you lean forward into the stretch, you're going to feel that through here. Okay, hold that for 5, 10, 15 seconds, maybe longer. Again, you play with it, find what works best for you. You also can move in and out of the stretch. Okay, this is dynamic stretching or moving stretching. So you're going in and out of that stretch. Again, this is not going to fix your problem.
Stretch. Camille's laying on her back, both knees are bent. She's going to keep both knees together and simply drop them over towards you guys. As far as pain would allow, I want you to keep it comfortable. I want you to go to pain, but not into pain. She's going to hold it 20 seconds to the left. She's going to come back, and then she's going to hold it 20 seconds to the right, and then we're going to repeat that 3 times. Again, a good is straighten out her left leg with her left hand, grab the outside of her right knee, and then she's going to pull that over towards you guys. you'll see here that we're just introducing more rotation into the lower back. Straighten out the right leg, left leg is bent, right hand pulls the left knee over to the side. You're going to get a good stretch up here through the quadratus lumborum. Give her left leg a big hug and pull that up into her chest. Now, if you have degenerative disc or arthritis or stenosis, this is one of my favorite exercises for that. Also mechanical low back pain or just a general low back pain, 20-second hold there, 20-second hold here. If you do have a disc bulge, this one's kind of a proceed with caution exercise. If this feels good, exercise number 4 is going to be a double knee to chest stretch. Now she's going to grab both knees and pull them up into her chest. She's going to breathe nice and deep, nice and relaxed, in through her nose, out. Camille's going to keep her right knee down on the ground. She's going to bring her left leg forward into this kind of tall kneeling position. And then she's going to lean forward onto that left foot until she gets a good stretch through that right side of her hip. She can even fire this right glute to pull the hips backwards so that it introduces more of a posterior tilt. And
as you lift the hips, you're gently squeezing the glutes, releasing tension in that lower back. It's really important to keep it nice and slow on the way down here. Every time you lower, you want to lower one vertebrae at a time, focusing on that pelvic tilt at the bottom, laying that, and then we're going to drop that left elbow to the ground, bringing the right hand up and over. We're going to feel a nice stretch through that side body. Making sure to keep that right hip pressed down. It's going to want to naturally lift up off your mat. Take it up and over, going the opposite direction, pressing that left hip down, really reach those left fingertips.